emblematic buildings in Barcelona like Anthony Gaudi's Casa Batlló are covered in roses today as the whole of Catalonia and the Catalan capital celebrate Sant Jordi, a day of literature, romance and roses, and thousands of people are out here on the streets. In today's special show, we're going to be looking at it from various different places in the city to see what's going on. And to begin with, we're going to find out what Rachel Bathgate has been up to on the ground.
From early on in the day, the streets of Barcelona filled with thousands. Even though this year Sant Jordi falls on a weekday, that didn't stop people finding the time to head out into the sunshine and make the most of this very special day on the Catalan calendar. Millions of roses are on sale throughout the country, as well as millions of euros worth of books, as bookshops and publishing houses set up shop outside and passers-by take in their wares in search of a gift for their loved ones. With so much to offer, there's plenty to choose from, with books and roses as far as the eye can see. And despite being a Monday, the atmosphere in the Catalan capital has been festive. With the number of people wandering through the streets, it does not feel like a working day at all. The city is filled with locals and tourists alike. People of all ages have enjoyed the warmer weather as spring gets underway, from entire families taking in the sights to couples walking hand in hand. It is, after all, one of the most romantic days in Catalonia, and this year, the levels of romance have been taken to a whole new level in Barcelona.
Love is love, and never has this statement been more apparent or true than at this year's Sant Jordi, at this year's Petonada, which is roughly translated as kiss event in Catalan. It's put on by a grassroots organization, and it's here to show and to celebrate that diversity and love is important, and you should be able to love whoever you want on this day where Catalans are outside enjoying the sunshine and happy to show that they appreciate and they love their family, their friends, and everybody that they hold dear to their heart. Happy Sant Jordi, everyone.
But Sant Jordi is not only being celebrated here today in Barcelona, where thousands of people have come outside enjoying the nicer weather on this Monday. It's a familiar scene throughout Catalonia, from the biggest cities such as Tarragona, Girona and Lleida, even to the smaller towns where people have set up their stalls selling books and roses, and families with children up to their grandparents are out there walking and just enjoying the day. You could say Sant Jordi is a bit like the Catalan version of Valentine's Day, as millions of roses are sold throughout the country to give to people's loved ones. I've got mine. Like it says here, loving is urgent.
Every April 23rd, Catalonia honours its patron Saint Sant Jordi. It is one of the most popular festivals of the year and is characterised by a very unique tradition. Couples express their affection by exchanging books for roses. Naturally, that means millions of roses are sold every year on the day, and almost all of them are red roses, the classic symbol of love. But this year was a little different. The symbol of the campaign showing solidarity with jailed Catalan pro-independence leaders is a yellow ribbon. As a result, yellow roses were in huge demand this year, even outselling red roses in certain flower stalls. Flower sellers on the streets of Catalonia certainly noticed the rise in demand for yellow roses, with many stocking up with twice as many as usual.
La gent ja sabíem que ens demanaríem i tenim la rosa groga i tenim les bosses també amb els llals dels presos polítics.
While the traditional red rose still remained the most popular option, a great many people showed their support for imprisoned Catalan leaders by buying miniature yellow rose bushes, or by replacing the yellow bows on their jacket lapels with yellow rose badges. In many cases, people simply decided to give two roses, one red for love and one yellow for solidarity.
El fet, la rosa vermella, que me l'ha regalat el meu marit, el sentit que té sempre, no?, d'estimació la parella, i aquest any, una dedicació especial amb la rosa groga per el fet de que tenim moltíssimes persones que no podran disfrutar d'un dia tan bonic amb nosaltres.
The huge success of yellow roses this year was confirmed by Catalonia's Flowersellers Association, which said that some 600,000 yellow roses were sold on Monday. Meanwhile, the association estimated that the figure for all the roses sold in Catalonia on Sant Jordi's Day this year would come to some 7 million roses in total.
Sant Jordi is not just about romance and roses though, it's also a very special day for books, like these children's books you can see here. In fact, it's the day in Catalonia in which most books are sold compared to the rest of the year, as bookshops and editing houses also set up stores in the streets, with authors even signing copies. It's no coincidence that Sant Jordi coincides with World Book Day.
Poetry, drama, non-fiction, fairy tales and even graphic novels. Anything goes as long as you can read it. Sant Jordi in Catalonia is one of the most unique celebrations of the World Book Day. No matter where you look, books are everywhere. But this festivity is not completely isolated from the political situation, and titles focused on Catalonia's push for independence will probably make it to the best-selling list. Yet for booksellers, this is not a race.
Es ven una mica de tot. Jo sempre dic que el més important no són els 3 o 4 primers, sinó tots els altres, que és la feina que fem els llibreters, la feina prescriptora, no?, de llibres.
Sant Jordi is inseparable from the publishing sector in Catalonia. Sales are expected to surpass 20 million euros. For some booksellers, this accounts for 10% of their yearly income. But for the smallest businesses, it can go up to 80%. Sant Jordi is a vital breath of fresh air, which shows how fragile the business of selling books can be. A rainy Sant Jordi can ruin an entire season. But today, the sky was clear and sun shone all day. Chances are that this will be a good year.
This is one of the most typical images of Sant Jordi. Dozens of people waiting in line for their favorite authors to sign their books. And for the authors themselves, it's also a major milestone. No matter whether they are publishing their first book, and then it will be a kind of rite of passage, or even if they have sold millions of copies, this is a perfect occasion to sell just a few more books.
Me gusta muchísimo. Sant Jordi es único.
Estic flipant una mica amb tot el que m'està passant, no tinc paraules.
Hombre, es un día extraordinario, es un día muy especial que no tiene además equivalente en ninguna otra ciudad del mundo.
El que m'agrada és el deler lector de la gent. Això ho trobo fabulós, escampat per tot el país.
I jo estic en aquest sentit contenta perquè crec que connecta bé amb els actors i especialment amb les actores perquè ja sabem que són les dones les que més llegeixen.
Home, m'agrada més doncs, que alguna gent que no llegeix mai compra llibres, perquè els que llegeixen llibres habitualment en compren durant tot l'any.
Catalan literature is not just big here in Catalonia. In fact, in recent years, its popularity has been growing abroad. To learn more about this, we now speak with Izaskun Areche. She's the head of literature at Ramon Llull Institute, which is dedicated to promoting Catalan culture abroad. First of all, can you give us a general overview of Catalan literature overseas?
Catalan literature at this very moment is in a very healthy point. In 2007, Catalan culture was guest of honor in Frankfurt, and that was a turning point. From then on, every year we have increased the number of translations from Catalan to other languages. And I think this is not going to stop, this is going to even grow bigger and bigger.
And which are the countries and languages in which Catalan literature is most popular?
In terms of languages, Spanish is the first language where Catalan books are translated into. After Spanish, for obvious reasons, we have French, then Italian, then German, and after German we have Polish. I would like to say that English is right there, but it is not. We are increasing our translations into English, but this is growing a bit slower.
And which are the most popular literary genres abroad?
All kinds of literature is translated into other languages. We have classics, but also we have very, very modern literature being translated. Most of it, of course, is fiction, but also we have like a 15% or so of poetry being translated into other languages as well.
There are also lots of translations made into other languages of Catalan literature. Could you please tell us a little bit more about this?
Translators are basic for us. I mean, we couldn't have our literature being translated being read into other languages if it wasn't for translators. So we try to take special care of them. I mean, there's more than 150 universities all over the world where Catalan is being taught. And that's important because there's a lot of translators that learn the skills there. And always, we try to give them seminars, be in contact with them, etc. So they are very, very close to our literature, and then they can decide what do they want to translate.
And which are the international book fairs in which Catalan literature has a bigger presence?
We go everywhere, but of course, the main fairs are Frankfurt, Bologna for children's literature, London, on Paris, but then we go to Warsaw, we go to Paris, we go to Beijing, we're gonna go to Sharjah for the first time this year, we're gonna go to Rome, we go to Istanbul, so we try to be everywhere to explain what a rich literature we have.
Thank you very much for being with us. Now to find out about how special Sant Jordi is for different people, Catalans and foreigners alike, our reporters have been on the ground to ask them some questions. Let's take a look.
People, families get together and you can give your girlfriend, your mom or some friends a rose and you get back a book.
Well, I'm just spending the day for Sant Jordi in Barcelona, so I want to check how nice it is.
It's a very beautiful celebration because we celebrate a lot in the school and we have to write a composition, and then this day they say who is the winner of the composition.
It's a good opportunity to find some good books, second-hand books that may be interesting, and it's something that you can find in everyday life. It's a nice opportunity.
I like that giving, sharing, exchange, and it works for both parties, so that's really cool.
I changed my flight just so I would not miss Dia de Sant Jordi, just because it's just a huge part of Catalan culture, so it's nice to be here. I'm glad I came early.
I think it's a great holiday. It's very different as a person from the States and used to Valentine's Day. It's all about love between two people versus St. Jordi is more about love between everybody. You give it to your friends, you give it to your family members, whoever you really care about.
We're here at the Catalan government headquarters, where today the doors have been opened to the public. Many people have been queuing outside for a long time, and some have taken the opportunity to bring yellow roses, yellow of course being a sign of solidarity with jailed Catalan leaders. Despite the familiar scenes all over Catalonia, this year's Sant Jordi has been different to previous editions due to the current situation. Because of Spanish rule over the country, some of the usual institutional acts to celebrate the day have been cancelled. Some of the events that did take place here, however, include a reception with Ada Colau, the mayor of Barcelona. Other politicians have also walked the streets of the city looking at books and roses, but they also had messages for the people, including the deposed president himself, Carles Puigdemont, from Germany.
Bona diada de Sant Jordi, que la gaudiu, que la puguem gaudir encara que alguns de nosaltres no hi puguem ser presents, els que són a la presó, els que som a l'exili, que tinguem tots una bona diada de Sant Jordi.
I esperem que aquest sigui l'últim Sant Jordi amb presos polítics, l'últim Sant Jordi amb exiliats, l'últim Sant Jordi amb el 155 usurpant les nostres institucions.
Que el dia de Sant Jordi sí que és un dia de tots els catalans, que sí que és un dia apolític, que sí que és un dia on qualsevol català o catalana pensi com pensi, se senti com se senti, es pot sentir representat per aquesta fita, per aquesta data.
Jo crec que tothom s'ha de poder expressar amb total llibertat, en tot moment. I l'únic límit és precisament el respecte i la llibertat dels altres.
Però també hem de lamentar que és el primer Sant Jordi després del restabliment de la Generalitat Democràtica a l'any 77, en el qual no podem celebrar el Sant Jordi amb la Generalitat amb tota la seva restitució plena.
És sens dubte una diada d'alegria i de celebració, però també és una diada de dolor, de ràbia, de lluita i de combat per la persistència del cop d'estat del 155 i sobretot per la persistència de repressió política que va en augment.
Jo voldria fer una crida a la resta de partits polítics i al conjunt de la societat catalana i dir que potser valdria la pena que estudiéssim la possibilitat de convertir la Diada de Sant Jordi en el dia oficial de Catalunya. La Diada de Sant Jordi no està contaminada políticament, al contrari del que passa amb l'11 de setembre, i crec que ens representa plenament a tots els catalans.
That's all from us today. We hope you've enjoyed our special edition on what is a very special day here in Catalonia. Here we're going to say goodbye from La Rambla in the centre of Barcelona. Before we go, we're going to leave you with some of the highlights of the day. See you tomorrow.